5-minute murder. I'm going to select this card. We'll get moving. And tonight, we got old Belle Gunness. I don't know why. I love that name. Belle Gunness. Just a great name. So Belle was born on November 11th, 1859. And she possibly died April 28th, 1908. She was a Norwegian American serial killer who was active in Illinois and Indiana between 1884 and 1908. Gunness is thought to have killed at least 14 people, most of whom were men she enticed to visit her rural Indiana property on the promise of marriage, while some sources speculate her involvement in as many as 40 murders. Gunness seemingly died in a fire in 1908, but it is popularly believed that she faked her death. Her actual fate is unconfirmed. So, I was in Indiana for Oddities and Curiosities, and it was the very, very first convention that I had ever done. And while I was out there, we had a sheet because we knew we were going to make the Lady Killers expansion, which old Belle Gunness is part of. And so when we did that, we had a list where people could write in names of different serial killers, and we would look at adding them to the game. And so Belle was one that I knew nothing about. And so people told me there, because she's local there in Indiana, and they were like, you have got to add Belle Gunness to the game. She has got to go into your Lady Killers. And I said, okay, we'll check it out, and we'll see. And so I read the story about Belle Gunness, and it is unbelievable. This lady, she is bringing in these men, of course, back in the 1800s, early 1900s, really, because she was right at the turn of the century. But, no cell phones, no phones, right? They're writing letters back and forth. These letters are taking months to get to these men. And she's holding these enticing conversations and getting them to come to her property, where she is eventually killing them and burying them there on the property, taking all their money and all their belongings. She had this little coat room that had all their luggage in it, right? She would just take the guy's luggage in there, set it down next to the other 14 cases that she had there. It's a crazy story. But this lady ended up having plenty of money because of it, and continued bringing in all these men. She had a guy that was there on the property with her that helped her kind of garden and things like that. And it's fascinating because she had a relationship with him at one time, and I guess he was kind of in love with her. And he was helping her cover up all of these different things. It's also believed that he may have helped her fake her own death. Like it says at the end there, all they ever found was a burnt up body and some teeth. And it's commonly believed that she pulled her own teeth and left them there so they could identify her body when she got away and went somewhere else. So we don't know. We don't know if Belle Gunness died there on the property in the fire, or if she got away and made it somewhere else. There's a compelling argument that she did. So it is a fascinating story. And I don't know if you can see this card here, but that's old Belle there in the corner. And I got to tell you, when I look at her, she looks mean, man. Now, she's a mean lady anyway, killing maybe up to 40 people. But she don't look like somebody that I'd be super excited to come and see and spend the rest of my life with, right? But apparently she had a bunch of kids, and it's amazing. I find the killers around the turn of the century, whether it's female, male, I think they are fascinating. I think maybe it's so fascinating to me because the life and times were just so different from what we live in today. You could kill a bunch of people and never be caught, right? You could grind people into sausage and feed them to the whole town and nobody would know. So, like, it's just so completely different. And there were all these scams. They were trying to do all kinds of things. The Lonely Hearts killing was kind of a big thing back then because they did have that capability, because people did, they were very gullible, right? Because they wanted a better life. They wanted to go somewhere where somebody would take care of them and they would have everything they needed. And Belle would offer that. She would offer them to come in, and she would offer to give them, she had this farm and she had this land, and they could come and do it with her, and they could, be wealthy together. And, little did they know that most of her wealth was coming from killing and taking their belongings and all of their savings and everything. It's just a different time. But even though it's a different time, a lot of those scams and things like that continue today. People have just found other ways to do it. But it's fascinating to look where all those things came from. H.H. Holmes, one of my favorite, killers, as far as being a fascinating story. Another guy around the turn of the century. 1893, the World's Fair, and killing people there. Just unbelievable that a guy could get away with that, and that basically a snake oil salesman. I think that is fascinating. P.T. Barnum, not a killer that we know of, but a fascinating guy that used everything that he had at his disposal to make people spend money. And just that whole time period is incredible. So there you go, another killer, another 5-minute murder, little Belle Gunness for today, known as Hell's Belle. So thank you guys for joining us this weekend. I will be in Champaign, Illinois for Diet Dark History Con. We'll be there on Saturday. So if you guys are in the Champaign, Illinois area, make sure you come out and see us. It's going to be a good time. We will have a whole bunch of things going on there. We're going to be at the Orpheum Theater, which is an incredible haunted location, which I am really excited to go and check out. I have not been there yet, and I'm excited to do the investigation the night before. So yeah, we'll be ready to rock and roll with that. And then the following week, I will be on the road. I'm going to have to film 5-minute murder early because I will be in Orlando, Florida for Phantasm, another convention down there. Super excited about that one, right there at Universal Studios. So if you are in the area in Orlando, Florida, make sure you come and see me in 2 weeks. Not this Friday, but the following Friday. We'll be starting that up. Come out and see us, and come and hang out at the booth, play some games, pick up some, say hi. All right, thank you guys. I will talk to you soon. Have a great week.